Hi, it's Scott Allen for The Raw with some analysis on the recent form of Will Genia. There's no doubt he's not in the form that we've come to expect from him that made most of us consider him the world's best halfback. Some of the common issues I see raised are that he's slowing the ball down at the base of the ruck, he's running backwards to pass, he's not running enough from the base of the ruck himself, and his box kicking has been poor. I don't see this issue of him slowing the ball down at the base of the ruck. In fact, in the last two matches against the All Blacks, I can only see 5 rucks from 187 where he slowed delivery. Let's have a look at some of the other areas in more detail. First up, he's very good at creating little opportunities for his runners by scooting from the base and holding the inside defenders, as he does here with Retallick, to put Slipper into a small hole which helps him get over the advantage line. Now when he's in form, Genia does this better than any halfback in the world. But when your form's slightly off, your timing and your execution are also slightly off, and here's an example. Simmons is running a really good line outside of Retallick, and Genia knows that if he passes from the base of the ruck, Retallick will just drift straight onto Simmons, there'll be no opportunity. So he's got to occupy Retallick before giving the ball to Simmons. Now, if Genia was in good form, I think he'd take another pace forward before he gives the ball. But by going slightly sideways, the timing's out, and it's a clear forward pass. Here's an example where his decision making's not quite right. The Wallabies have made a break. They've got the All Blacks' defence slightly disorganised, and with 2 men outside him, that's where the opportunity probably is. Genia holds onto the ball just a little too long. That gives Conrad Smith the time to get up in the line, and then the next decision was probably throw it to Tamua rather than try the Hail Mary pass over the top. Some are even calling for Genia to be benched and Nick White to start. When you consider the poor game he had in the Super Rugby final, and since then he's played 8 minutes of rugby and thrown 9 passes from the base of the ruck, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But what is it that people have seen from White in that limited game time that gets them even thinking about this as an option? I think most people say it's his speed of delivery, and that comes about because most of his passes he throws from the base of the ruck without taking any steps. So you can see here his foot is locked in, and he'll pass the ball without having to take a step towards the ball carrier or running sideways. That doesn't engage the defence, but it does speed up the delivery. Any halfback has to get the balance right between this quick method of delivery and scooting from the base to occupy the defence. We haven't seen enough from White when he's come on yet to see whether he's got the balance right. We have seen plenty of examples of Genia delivering the ball using that quick method, but I do think he could change his balance a little bit and use the quick method a little more than scooting. I think he's probably got that balance slightly wrong. Of course, there are always times you can't throw the immediate pass. Here Genia has picked the ball up on the run, so he's not balanced enough to throw the pass, and he takes a step towards Tamua to get that balance. Here, he can't get the ball around Hooper's legs, so he takes a step backwards to deliver it to Tamua. In this next example, Hall gets between he and Matt Tamua, and he can't throw the pass immediately, so takes the step backwards before throwing it. In this case, again, it's not clean at the base of the ruck, and Hall's in his way. Rather than wait for Hall to clear, he takes a step backwards to then deliver quickly. Same here with Nick White. He's got his feet in the wrong position, so he has to turn. That means he takes a step backwards. Here, the ball's gone to the wrong side. He has to take a step backwards to get his balance right. Whilst it's great to scoot from the base of the ruck, sometimes there can be too much of a sideways shuffle rather than a scoot, and here are some examples from Genia, where here I think he needs to give the ball straight away. This extra pace or two sideways he takes and slightly backwards is just taking time away from the ball runners. Again here, I see no reason why he doesn't deliver this ball immediately. He's well balanced, and a pass could have been made without taking those steps. Here's an example from Nick White, where in the first example, he passes the ball from the base of the ruck, and that gives Kepu time to catch the ball before the defenders are on him. In this second one, he takes 2 paces sideways, and that means the defence can get off the line and just put the ball carrier under a little more pressure. Here's one of the examples where Genia slows the ball down. I think his first thought in this is there any opportunity for me to run? You can see his eyes looking forward. Clearly there is no opportunity, so then he's got to go for option number 2. And I think he takes option 2 as I'm going to box kick, and that's why you see the foot go back ready for a box kick. He then realises that's probably not the correct decision, and he gets a call from Tamua, but he's got to now turn, realign, and it's all quite slow. There's no doubt that in form his decision making would be faster than this. We're all wondering what's happened to Genia's running game. In the last 2 matches we haven't seen him run successfully from the base of the ruck once. Here's a great example from the 2012 series against Wales, and this is the sort of thing we've come to expect from him. So how did that opportunity come about for Genia? The first thing to look at is the spacing between the Welsh defenders. It's pretty poor. They're leaving a lot of room for Genia to target. The second thing to look at is that he's got Digby Ioane running as a threat outside him, and that's going to attract these two defenders. That leaves Genia free to only have to deal with Adam Jones. I think Genia is missing not having Ioane, who quite often popped up in that role. I can tell you that from going through every single ruck in the last two matches against the All Blacks, I can't show you one example where the All Blacks got their defence around the ruck wrong to even give Genia this opportunity. So although he's not in form, a large part of it comes down to how well the All Blacks have shut him down.